Hi everyone, welcome back to another edition of the Velvet Lounge Life. This is my dark edition. Why? Because it is very, I can't even tell you how late it is right now. Yes, this is how I look. Yep, hair's popping up everywhere, curls galore. And it is what it is. Apologies. So, although it is incredibly late, and I am right now sitting on our gigantic California king bed, looking at the empty side where my husband would normally occupy. Okay, he wouldn't occupy it at night because he works third shift some nights, because he does have nights that he has off. But tonight he's working, and excuse me, yes, elbowed that, I yawned, and things at his facility have definitely taken a turn for the worse. Why? Because administration would not do what they were supposed to do. They didn't have a proactive plan, which should have already have been set up weeks, if not months ago. They did not allow staff to have the basic, minimal protective gear that they should have had, meaning temperatures were not taken until just a couple days ago before they entered this medical facility. And according to the CDC, according to our doctors, we told them what was happening, and they told us what should have been happening, and that just made us even more unhappy. And also looking at the instructions from the CDC for medical facilities, yeah, there are a lot more things that they should have already had in place, already had been doing, that they were not doing at all. Put it this way, there was a long time until just a few days ago, they weren't doing anything. And it wasn't because the staff, the good staff, didn't want to do these things. They were instructed not to do things, such as not wearing a mask, which means also you could not wear anything protective over your clothing. Remember, this is a maximum security hospital, so you're dealing with the worst of some of the worst. I mean, hello, in the supermax prisons, some of these folks would be there if they didn't have an insanity plea. But you are dealing with Stephen King level times 20 times, the worst things you could, possibly imagine type of people. And because of that, if no other reason than because of that, then they should have already had super emergency protocols that would fall into place just in case. Let's say there's a riot. What a disaster that would be. And especially because the patients are allowed to watch the news and television in general. So, and obviously certain folks claim that they're insane, but they know exactly how to comprehend what's going on and compile a very detailed, and in some cases, I will even say complex plan of no goodery. And so because of these reasons, not just those, simply because it was like, there are certain things they should have been doing that they did not do. Excuse me. And because of that, they now have an outbreak there that gets worse every single day, from staff to patients. Now, is it out there? And these people have families. So did they bring that home to their families? Did they bring it to the grocery store? Did they take it to the pharmacy if they went to the pharmacy or a gas station? I'm just trying to name the places that, you're allowed to go, because you should not be going, to hang out with your buddies at the bar, because a bar should not be open. And you should not be hanging out with your buddies because, hello, you are supposed to be social distancing and staying home. They've told us, stay home. And I don't know how many times I could tell people that, but unless you have to be out for something, and I'm talking about something that makes sense, because some people will be like, I need to go and get some alcohol. Well, no, you don't. Maybe it's a good time to put the bottle down, or, you should have gotten that before all of this started, because right now you could be infecting that clerk at that store just because you have a need or a want or a desire or whatever you want to call it. So, the thing that we've been doing, because obviously things have only gotten worse because of irresponsibility, ignorance, I could go through the list again if you want me to, is we had to come up with even stricter, which I didn't even think we could think of anything else to do here at the house, but stricter things to do. And one thing that we lightened up on, so stricter, one of the things that we've done is, because I was still like, well, you could go into the linen closet and get whatever. And now my husband won't even go into the linen closet. Like, he's the one who is like tightening the reins a little bit more, which is a good thing to see, because usually it's me that is, has to be the leader of pretty much everything. And I still am the leader, of course, but it's good to see him stepping up and, coming up with things for us to do to make things better as well. And so the other thing is, normally, he has like this ritual that he likes to go through every morning. And now he's completely altered that. We already had altered it, but now it's even more altered. And it's actually something that we might keep in place. I won't go into details because it really isn't that important for you guys. And something that we decided to do is, okay, he's been working a crazy amount of hours and he planned to keep on doing that. I told him, no, you will not continue doing that, because you will burn out, you will become incredibly tired, you might even get sick just from exhaustion. And so he was like, yes, but this and that and whatever, and they're short and whatever, and we have to do double. Like, there's a thing where it's called being mandated, and that means that even if you've already worked 12 hours, if they need someone to work the next 6 hours, I'm just making up hours, whatever, then guess what? If there's no one else, or no one else can be called in or whatever, then you are it. You're already on campus or at the hospital. You are that person. So you can't just, turn around and, well, you could technically, but you're not supposed to just like turn around and walk out the door. But hello, we live in America. If you want to do that, yay. But at the end of the day, are there possible repercussions? Of course. But the thing, my husband definitely would never do that. But the thing is, like I said, I don't want him to become overly exhausted, super tired, and end up getting, sick anyway, not necessarily from the virus, but from anything else that, an exhausted person could become sick or even injured from. Like, you become so tired, you fall asleep at the wheel. Like, I don't want that happening. And we live quite a distance away from where he works. He has to take 3 different highways to get to where he works. So obviously safety has to be paramount. So we were talking about, you know, when he does have his couple of days off, what him and I can do. And he was like, well, can't we still be in the same room? And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like in the same room. I was like, well, in the family room, because even though we have this giant California king, we're still not going to be 6 feet apart. And also, yeah, we're still going to keep our separate sleeping quarters and all of that. And he was like, yeah, I know, but I meant like we'll be able to play cards or something or watch a movie. I was like, oh, you want to watch a movie? He goes, we always watch movies. I was like trying to just make him laugh at that point. And then I was like, but how are we going to play cards? And he goes, like, at work we will wear gloves, like, because we're dealing with like patients and stuff or whatever. And so I figure we'll be sitting there wearing gloves and masks, and I hope I remember to take a picture of that to share with you guys as a thumbnail, because it'll probably be really funny. And we have 2 very long tables and actually an incredibly long bar that are 6 feet long. Well, one table is like 5 feet 1 or 2 inches, and then we have a table that's well over 6 feet. And we have a bar that's definitely like 6 feet, or if not longer. And so we will be able to sit at opposite ends and have to really extend an arm when passing cards or whatever we play. But yeah, so he was coming up with plans for stuff that we can do when he has his couple of days off. And I thought that was super cute. Aw, such a cute husband. And so, you know, we're not going to just 100% remain in separate rooms throughout this entire ordeal. However, we are definitely going to try to remain 6 feet apart, even if we are in the same room. The other thing that we changed, because before we were like, we can't have any contact, we have to be in separate rooms, separate floor, like super duper crazy extreme, and maybe it'll get to that point, hopefully not, but you know, this is what we decided, you know, we're willing to do. The other thing that we decided to change was our wee little cute dog. I have to I'm going to post a video of her going down the stairs. I have no idea why I like this video so much. I think I like it so much because she's 15 years old, and you just would never guess that this dog was 15 years old. She still acts like a puppy, and she is getting a little bit sad because she can't like interact with her human dad. And so he would take her for a walk in the morning and feed her morning meal. And then I take her for a walk like later, like late afternoon, meaning like well afternoon, or even in the evening, or sometimes I will take her twice. And then I give her her evening meal. So she can tell, obviously, the dog is 15, she can tell that the routine is like so different. And why can't I be with dad? Like, she's like, where is dad? Why did dad close the door when he went, you know, to the other floor of the house? So I can't go there. And so she'll lay at the door until he comes up the stairs. Or she will lay by, like we have a sectional that has like the built-in loungers, and she will lay near his lounger, just like waiting for him to come and sit there, and he's not coming. Like I even said to her today, I was like, Maya, he is not coming. And she just started like crying, and I was like, no, he's okay, it's all right, do you want a biscuit? And that shut her up right away. But yeah, so even our dog is noticing the differences, and plus he's obviously not home as much because of, hello, level 1 essential hazardous duty employee. You report, like I said before, even if there was a nuclear war, he is supposed to still report to work. And so, but she notices that he is not here, you know, that much at all. So we decided that he is still going to take her for her morning walk and also feed. Did we say no? He'll just take her for the morning walk. I will feed her and do all of her meals and stuff like that. But at least they will have some time together outside if he does, the morning walk. And plus, by the time I touch the dog and or her leash, it should be, I think, over the threshold of time that the CDC stated where the virus lives on items for X number of hours. By the time I get to her, as well as her stuff, like her leash and toys or whatever, it should be fine. And I will wear gloves. So, and plus, he's going to spray her leash every time. And also she'll have one sweater for when he takes her for a walk, and then he'll take it off when she comes in the house. And then if she still wants to wear a sweater while she's in the house, then I'll put on one of her other sweaters. Our dog likes sweaters. I know we are those people who totally messed up their four-legged loving friend, and we're caretakers of her, and she is like the cutest thing, and she likes wearing her. Believe me, if you touch her stuff, she's like, "Why are you touching my stuff?" And you're like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna put the sweater on you, not on me." So yeah, those are some of the changes that we made and some of the adjustments that we are willing to, live with, as well as, making sure. So that's something I would say is just make sure your spouse is getting enough rest. Also remember that if you're a puddle on the floor and you're overly anxious about everything that's happening, you do have things that you can do. I think it's ironically hilarious when people are like, "I'm so bored, I don't have anything to do." Yes, you do. If I came to your house, I can guarantee you I could pick out 20 good things for you to do almost immediately, like cleaning out every single closet that you have, every single cabinet, rearrange your dresser and chest of drawers. I'm sure you have junk drawers that you could clean stuff out of. Find things around your house that you could donate after all of this is over to the appropriate organizations. And notice how we haven't heard anything from the American Red Cross. We haven't heard anything from Goodwill or the Salvation Army. Rethink where you donate your money. Also, you can, all those photographs that you have, the ones that you can hold in your hands, not that digital shit, make sure that you sit down with your kids and you have some reminiscing time about great grandpa Joe or whoever. And also it's a good time, if you haven't done this, to put them maybe in albums or scrapbooks or something if you have that stuff handy. If not, obviously you can order it online. Also, it's a good time to go through your clothing and your shoes, your coat closets. We have coat closet, but if you have coat closets, your laundry rooms, your storage rooms, your mechanical rooms, anywhere that you store things, to clean them out and, be ready to donate, recycle appropriately so the items can actually get recycled. It's also a good time to read that book that you kept putting off, that you bought brand new and it's sitting on your bookshelf and you never got to it. It's an excellent time to do that. Spring clean your house now. It's spring. Now, you were working before, you didn't have time to do it. Now, even if you're working from home, you have some time where you can, pick a task and, complete maybe one task, or maybe, depending on the size of it, maybe multiple tasks in a day. Create a to-do list and actually do it. Also, it's a great time to still get outside when the weather is nice and do some gardening. We actually have had a garden service, lawn service for years, and one of the things that I started doing, regardless of the fact that we have that service, is I'm getting out there myself and doing some gardening. And so, and I actually enjoy it. And it's the only time I don't enjoy it is the first time that I see that big ass spider. I am so through. I am so done. Not that I won't go back out there and do more, but I am not going out there until like probably a week and a half to 2 weeks at least after that. And of course my husband has to inspect and make sure that visitor is not visiting anymore. And I probably honestly don't normally go back to that area. I just don't. And I know I love the woods, I love the forest and stuff like that, but I don't even know how we survived as kids, because I just didn't notice all of these creepy crawlies. Now I notice all of the creepy crawlies outside, and we have snakes and such. So yeah, it's really awesome. But anyway, so you want to be, you want to use this time productively, and also doing some of the things I suggested, and I'm sure there are 5,000 other things that you could do as well. The garage is another place that people overlook. If you have storage houses on your property, or sheds or barns or whatever, that might be a good time to like take care of some work, with those. But notice everything I'm stating, you don't need to go out and buy anything to do these things. Just work with what you have. And also remember that doing this stuff is a great way for you to keep your mind off of, some of the things that might make you go into that dark place, because the people who are out there on the front lines, they need your support, and they don't need to worry about you when they already have to concentrate on their task at hand, because you do not want them to make a mistake, right? You want them to be alert. You want them to know that you are holding down the fort. And as a matter of fact, when they come home, they're like, wow, you did that? Yeah, I did that. And they're like, awesome, because that's like one less thing that they have to worry about. Plus, just because you're at home and you have to be, like, you're supposed to be staying at home, it doesn't mean that you don't have something that you can do other than watching television or being on a laptop or some sort of device. There are other things outside of that you can be doing that will make life better for all of you. If you have kids, get them involved. Maybe that's one of the things you do, is sit down and come up with a list of fun projects. And for everyone will people think rearranging a linen closet is fun? I think it's fun because I like things neat and tidy in a certain way. But other people might not think that's fun. But I also think that it's super fun to go on a crazy hike, as long as I don't see crazy bugs. Or snakes. That's my other thing, like snakes. But, you're trying to be that extra support for that person, but also keeping yourself, your mind, your body right, keeping their minds, their bodies right, because right now is the time to make sure you're healthy as you can be, because if you do get the virus, you want to be sure that you have enough tools in your arsenal, enough weapons to fight it and recover. So, have things gotten better at my husband's facility? No, the outbreak has gotten worse, to the point that they had to finally quarantine the sick patients, those that have the virus. They should have been quarantined days ago. They were not. So what did that do? It exposed more people. So more people there have tested positive, and also more staff members have been out, and because they have to be quarantined, or because maybe they have symptoms, a combination thereof. So, my husband is doing everything he can do physically, mentally, proactively, if they're allowed to, because I think that is the most outrageous thing, is that they were not allowed to be proactive. Bullshit. I can't believe I'm saying bad words. Boulder Dash. It is, if I told you guys how late it was right now, you'd be like, oh my, I will tell you. It is 5:59 a.m. Yes, a.m. I should be sleeping right now. And that's okay. I will just sleep longer. I don't even know if I'm making a lot of sense right now. Hopefully I am. And I can even tell, like, my voice has changed a little bit because I am getting tired. But the thing is, a lot of things have happened at his facility that were totally wrong. They were ignorant, they were not right, and the administration is at fault for this, and we are not happy. We are not the only people, him and I, that are not happy. A lot of people who work under that particular individual there are incredibly unhappy. Some of them have taken it to a different level of unhappiness, and I'm sure others will get there. And it's unfortunate because these people want to do their jobs. They knew what they signed on for when they took these jobs years ago, decades ago in some cases. The only thing they did not expect is they did not expect to have a job not give them the safety equipment they need to appropriately and safely keep themselves safe, keep the patients safe, and other staff safe while they perform their duties. And why that was denied them, no one knows. I mean, people do know, but will they ever tell you the truth or the real answer? Who knows? We don't know. And that is the part that is ridiculous. There was someone who made a comment saying something like, well, no one on my YouTube page, this is someone else completely off of this channel. They said something like, well, those are the jobs that, we signed up for, or they signed up for. Don't be a dumbass. For the love of Christ, you think you know so much, and you don't know anything. You know why? You did not sign up to do a job that was going to leave you unsafe and unprotected. You signed up for a job where you would have the equipment you needed to safely do those jobs in unsafe conditions. There's a reason why you are paid hazardous duty pay. Okay, you couldn't hang, so you maybe went to a private institution. Maybe they don't have hazardous duty pay. I don't know, and honestly, I really don't care. But at the end of the day, you are in a hazardous duty position, level 1 essential employee. And you are supposed to have the equipment that you are, and I'm talking about basic things. I'm not even talking about a, head to toe hazmat suit, but you are supposed to have masks, gloves, clothing covering, and other basic tools to do your job safely under conditions like this. And because of the people and the clients and the patients that you work with, there's is always supposed to be a safety protocol, regardless of if this virus never existed. There are times that patients will riot. They will come together and there are prisons that have been taken over. So obviously medical facilities that are maximum security and dealing with a certain clientele, even if it's not maximum, there are supposed to be protocols there. So be smart and sometimes shut up and think more